If you're interested in dating women in this modern day and age, you might want to watch this video till the end, because a lot of you seem to be confused when it comes to the subject of body count. So today, I'm here to cut through the noise, providing some clarity and sharing my personal perspective on the question everybody seems to be concerned with these days: does your partner's body count matter? So you've probably caught those TikTok clips or podcast interviews from Fresh and Fit or the whatever podcast, where they basically grill girls about their body count, right? It's like a wild roller coaster every time, with these ladies going off about how it shouldn't matter, and anyone who even dares to ask is labeled all kinds of names, including insecure, toxic, or misogynist. But here is the thing: whenever it's their turn to drop their own body count bombshell, suddenly it's crickets. They just can't seem to answer the question, except for a few pros who've admitted to lost count a long time ago. Now look bro, I'm not here to shame anyone for being who they are or doing what they do. We're all free agents in this game called life. But what I'm here for is to open your eyes and make you aware of the real deal. See, I want you to be equipped with the knowledge to make those smart decisions, especially when it comes to picking a partner for the long haul. And one of the things that you need to be aware of is her past. More specifically, her past relationships with other men. So let's break it down real simple. Does your partner's body count matter? Yes or no? This is how I see it. If the number of men she slept with genuinely holds zero significance, saying that number should come as easy to her as saying that the sky is blue and that water is wet. But she probably can't say it. And sure, a part of that may be the fear of her being judged, but the main reason why most women can't say it is because on the one hand, they've been brainwashed by mainstream media, pop culture, hookup culture, modern feminism, that it's somehow okay to sleep with an endless pool of men without any repercussions whatsoever. But then on the other hand, you have their feminine intuition, or whatever is left of it, their soul, their spirit, telling them that having a different guy in their bed on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis probably isn't going to be the glue that's going to hold a strong relationship together. And I honestly believe that women do have a very strong and powerful intuition. They can sense when something's off, but they've also got this incredible skill to convince themselves otherwise for multiple reasons that we're not going to discuss right now, but one of them, for example, being to prove this point of equality to the patriarchy. It's almost like they're at odds with themselves. But here's the thing: anyone with some common sense, male or female, knows you can't run through an endless line of sexual partners without it taking some toll on your biology, your psychology, your emotional well-being, right? No woman can sleep with 1,000 men without catching some nasty STD along the way. And likewise, no woman can sleep with 1,000 men without running into a few who don't have their best interest at heart and potentially scar her for life. Think about it this way: no mother would want her daughter going around and hooking up with 1,000 different dudes, right? And on the flip side, no mother would want her son getting involved with a woman who's been with 1,000 dudes, because she knows that those types of girls tend to come with a whole lot of baggage. If a woman, let's call her woman A, meets another woman, woman B, and woman B proudly says, "I've been with 1,000 dudes already. I just love to have casual random sex as much as I possibly can." Even woman A would probably be like, "Whoa, that's kind of gross," and I totally get why any guy might be reluctant to date a woman with that kind of history. Maybe out of human decency, that isn't something she would say out loud, but it's definitely something she would think, and probably something she'd say behind her back. And I'm definitely not making the case that as a guy you can go around and rack up an infinite body count, because that's not how it works, but we'll get to that in a bit. It's kind of similar to the debate about abortion. There are women who are pro-abortion, and then there are women who are against. But if some random woman casually strolls up to you and says, "Hey, I've already had 15 abortions in the past 2 years or so because, I just love to have random unprotected sex all the time, and if it happens again tomorrow, well, YOLO, I'm just gonna have number 16. Even the pro-abortion crowd will probably distance themselves from this individual. It's like, sure, do your thing, but maybe go get some help while you're at it and stay the hell away from us, because this is not exactly what we mean by pro-choice, right? So to bring this all back to the subject of body count, the question isn't so much whether her body count matters or not. The real question is, when does it start to matter? Is it after she's been with 5 guys, 50 guys, or 500 guys? And the answer is pretty straightforward. Her body count starts to matter the moment it starts interfering with her ability to pair bond with one man on a long-term basis, whether it be through a, let's say, monogamous romantic relationship or through the construct of marriage. So if your girl is like 99.999% of all women out there and she is looking to settle down at some point in time, whether it be with you or with someone else, the number which inhibits her ability to do just that, well, that's her limit. That's her ceiling. That's how far she can go. And the data doesn't lie on this one, bro. Countless studies in the fields of psychology and sociology have come to a pretty similar conclusion. In one study, they've even found that a woman's capacity to form this lasting bond with one man drops significantly by 80 to 85% after a certain number of partners, which, surprise, surprise, isn't even that high. We're not discussing 50, 20, or even 10 men, but as few as 3 to 5 men. Think about it this way. If there was an 80 to 85% chance of getting hit by a bowling ball the moment you'd step out of your house today, you'd think twice about leaving. So tell me again how her body count doesn't matter. Now let's assume that the current average today falls within the range of 20 to 25 partners, which, if we're being really honest, isn't that difficult to imagine. Hell, most women today have already slept with 25 dudes before the age of 25. Let's just keep it 100. Let's just say it as it is. Now, for a man to find out that the woman he's dating, his fiance, or hell, maybe even his wife, has slept with 25 other men before him, that is the equivalent of her finding out that the guy she's dating has already proposed to 25 other women before her. Like, can you imagine that a guy goes down on one knee, professing his love, asking her to spend forever with him, just to come and find out that he's already made 25 similar proposals in the past decade or so? Now, do you really think that that wouldn't change her perception of his proposal, or that it wouldn't change her view of him as a man? Of course it would, and rightfully so, because it undoubtedly speaks volumes about him. Now, let's say she decides to confront him. Word on the street has reached her and she wants to confirm the truth. So she goes up to him and in a calm and collected manner she asks, "Hey baby, can I talk to you for a sec? I heard this crazy rumor today, probably not true, but I just need to ask. Did you propose to 25 other women?" And his response, "Yeah, so? What does it matter? Why'd you bring up the past? You should accept me for who I am. You're being very insecure and controlling right now. What's all this loose pussy energy?" Because let's be real, we all know that this kind of deflection wouldn't sit well, right? Like, it wouldn't fly. Now, the reason why many women seem to struggle with this relatively basic concept is because every time they do so, they fail to grasp and acknowledge the asymmetrical nature of what we refer to as attraction. See, attraction is not a symmetrical equation by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, it's an immensely asymmetrical, non-parallel phenomenon. There are specific traits I seek in a woman, what we commonly refer to as feminine traits, and then there are certain traits that she seeks in a man, what we commonly refer to as masculine traits. And it's these differences that make us a complete and balanced pair. So comparing my body count to her body count wouldn't be like comparing apples to apples. It would be more like comparing apples to oranges. And so for a fair comparison, you'd have to match her body count with something more akin to the number of wedding proposals. Because here's the thing, bro. If a girl discovers that you've slept with 25 other women, not because you're boastful about it, but because someone spilled the beans about your high school Casanova days, and after some, let's say, meticulous deduction, she calculates that the number to be somewhere in the range of 20 to 25, that part of her might even find it respectable. She might see it as being with a man who is desired by other women, yet she's the one you chose. Conversely, if she learns that you're still a virgin, not by choice but due to 25 failed attempts where none of these women wanted to be with you, she probably wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. Her reasoning would be something along the lines of, well, I'm not sure what's wrong with this guy, but if none of these women wanted him, I'm not going to take my fucking chances. Now, let me set the record straight here. Just because I've been discussing how her body count impacts things doesn't mean I'm giving you the green light to go out there and indulge in a string of one-night stands. That is not the intention behind this video at all, and I apologize if there was any confusion about it. The truth is, just as her past matters, so does yours. It's all about acknowledging the significance of our actions and decisions and how they shape our own paths in the world of relationship. It would be very hypocritical of me to talk about limiting the number of sexual partners for women while simultaneously advocating for an unlimited number of sexual partners for men. I'm simply pointing out that because of our distinct gender dynamics, the guidelines guidelines are slightly different, and so are the limits and repercussions. And that includes how we handle our own intimate encounters. The expectations and standards don't just magically disappear for us just because they exist for women. So, Habibi, keep in mind, while we've touched upon the importance of understanding her past, it's equally crucial to have a grasp on how our own choices impact our present and future connections with the opposite sex as well. Because that, my friend, that's how we stay savage.